Hello to all of you watching us live on the official Cartridge Club YouTube channel, or those who have chosen to come back and watch this on demand. To those unaware of who we are the Cartridge Club. This is a community of gamers, collectors, and video game enthusiasts of all ages. And as a community, we regularly come together to discuss our favorite video games, both modern and retro, movies, and pretty much anything else you can imagine. In addition, we are home to two unique Game of the Month podcasts where community members will come together over the span of a month, play a game together, and then at the end of the month, a few come together to make a podcast about that game. Sort of along the lines of a book club, but for video games. This month, we are playing Axiom Verge and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and we continue to seek out excellent games to play as future selections. You can always check out what games are ahead on the forums over at www.cartridgeclub.org or on our Discord server and jump in the conversation. Today, we are highlighting the last of the press conferences for E3 2018 for Nintendo. And joining us today, we have our panel. We have Ryan, also known as It's Rocket Sauce.
Hello.
We have a host of the YouTube channel Frantic Society and the Frantic Thoughts podcast. We have Josh.
Woohoo!
And returning, we have one of the current hosts of the Cartridge Club Prime podcast and co-founder of the club, P1.
Hey, so all week long you've been saying one of the current hosts of the Cartridge Club podcast, like my end is near, and it's really bumming me out.
Well, I wanted to clarify
that in 2 months I will no longer be a current host.
Well, you made that choice. You made that choice.
I muscled out.
Okay. Well, you do have the two future hosts of the show here. Again, both Ryan and I will be taking over for CC Prime in the coming months. I didn't want to ignore the fact, though, that Sean has been with the club for a very long time. Of course, he's one of the people who came up with it. So, and as far as me, I am Musty Hobbit, current host of the YouTube channel Second Breakfast. See how I did current? And we have a bunch in store for you over the next hour plus. We'll be breaking down the biggest news out of Nintendo. And again, we realize that you could be watching any other outlet and breaking this down, but we thank you for taking the time and choosing to come watch us do it for you. So let's get started with Nintendo. Again, they have adopted and continued this Nintendo Direct approach for their E3 presentation. And we're right on time with getting things started. They led with one of the strangest trailers that I think I've seen. I think it came out of absolutely nowhere. So we have, I assume it's Demon Machina X. I'm interested to hear what you guys thought of this being the first thing that we get to hear from them. Ryan, what did you think of this mech shooter combat game? What is this for you?
I didn't know what to think of this personally. It's kind of weird to start off the show with it too. I didn't know what it is, and I didn't know what it is then, and I still kind of don't know what it is now. I know it's a mech game, but I don't know if it's hack and slash or what. It's a very cinematic trailer to me, so. This one is definitely, let's see where this is going before I'm going to get anywhere excited with this one.
Okay. Josh, to me, this felt like almost like an Armored Core, but a little amped up and with some pretty heavy music as well. Is this interesting? Is this Nintendo?
I don't know if it's Nintendo. I'm just like, it looks all right. I don't know. I've never been into the mech thing, so it looks okay.
Sean, how about you?
I dug the art style. I dug the background music. It was very they started the show and it was starting with it was almost as intense as having a wrestler come on stage and perform heavy metal. It was fast paced music, a lot of beats. And it looked like a modern, a modern take on a shooter, like a Sin and Punishment style game, or like a Space Harrier. I think that's the style of game it is. I think it's a mech shooter. It looked fun. It looked fast, and I mean, I do need to see more gameplay before I make a decision on whether or not it's for me. But the fact that Nintendo said this is how we're going to open up our E3 for 2018 tells me that it's something special because they don't just put any garbage up there. So,
for sure. Yeah, and so quick trailer, and the thing about these video presentations is they get to move right on to the next thing. There was a very at this point we haven't even heard from Reggie at this point. I know caught some of the other coverage who were like, did we jump in the middle of this? Did we miss like the grand entrance? But then we get something that's a little more a known commodity in reveal of some DLC for Xenoblade called Torna, the Golden Country. Now, I know that we do have JRPG fans in the audience, and we have ones who aren't. Sean, is there interest here? I don't think you picked up Xenoblade.
No, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 wasn't for me. The art style of the art direction for some of the characters was not really something I enjoyed, so I didn't bother grabbing it. But I know that people who did play this game, most of them really enjoyed it. You're getting story DLC for a game that's full of story. That can only be a good thing. It looks like the characters are a little bit older. Rex looks like he's a little more grown up. So excited for those people who were pumped for it. But yeah, for me at the start of the show, I was like, okay, weird game I don't know. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC. Where are we going here? And but it looked good. It looked like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yeah. But yeah, it's not for me. But I know fans of that game are going to be happy to see it.
Yeah, most certainly. We then shift into Reggie, and Reggie talks a little bit about the Switch and felt kind of infomercially, in my opinion, at least. And he decided to bring up the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and again remind us that that's coming November 16th. Now, we had a big reveal of this a week or two ago, and they showed off the Pokeball controller, and he decided to give us a little more information on that. Are any of you going to be having one of these Pokeball controllers in your pockets? Josh, is this your kind of thing?
I'm not the biggest Pokemon guy. I always try them, and I usually, they're okay. But my girlfriend's super into it. I woke her up, and she was super excited to see more on it. And she always buys these games, and then I always like kind of play her copy. So I'll look forward to trying it at least. So
yeah.
Sure. How big are Reggie's hands? Because that ball looked minuscule. It's like a fist of bananas there at the end of his arm. It's massive. He was holding this tiny little like holding somebody's eyeball. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I am a casual Pokemon player at best. The only two that I've even actually played of the main series are Alpha Sapphire, which I beat, and Blue, which we played for the club, that I definitely didn't beat. I might get this because I played Pokemon Go for a bit, and this is more of a casual Pokemon experience. And it's supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a bridge for people who are new to the series, as well as a familiar comforting blanket for people who are old fans. So I may check this game out. I may try it. I'll have to run out of a lot of stuff when I'm deployed for that to happen. But I liked how they brought it on. They talked about it briefly, and then they cut away. Nintendo's policy at E3 for the last few years that I can remember, with the exception of last year, and that was special because it was Switch. But their policy at E3 has always been, let's focus on games that are close. Let's focus on games that are soon, you're going to be playing. You know what I mean? You don't get a lot of, hey, this game's 4 years out announcements from them. Last year, the exception, because it was Switch, everything was new, and they wanted to make sure that you knew, hey, we have all these big plans. But they shifted back this year to their focus of, here's stuff you can expect very soon.
Yeah, I think the latest timeline we got on anything here was spring 2019. So everything's in the next 9 months.
Exactly, and that's their normal mode of operation. That's what they do. We're gonna talk about stuff that's close. So they brought Pokemon out there. They talked about it briefly because like you said, we just got a big direct on it. That was a good way to mention it. You could have even shortened it up. I know it wasn't on screen for that long, but you could have even shortened it up a little more, I think. But yeah. Yeah.
So one of the things they decided to show us was that the Pokeball controller, every Pokeball controller comes with Mew in there. So now everyone who buys one of those will now have one of the most legendary of Pokemon. It also doubles as a Pokemon Go Plus. So if you remember, they had that little it was like a wristband that would allow you to continue to, you could have your phone in your pocket, but you could actually play it without having to take your phone out.
Yeah. So are you saying if I get that Pokeball, I'll have a Mew, and if you also get that Pokeball, you'll have a Mew too?
Correct. Correct. Yes, you got me. That is what's going to happen. They moved away from Pokemon. I'm wrestling with the decision not to show this early. I feel like they could have not. They may have. I know we've learned a lot since they have revealed it, so maybe they did that to kind of get the message out and let them control it. Because otherwise, if you throw that at the beginning of a presentation like this, suddenly everyone's going to be thinking about, oh, well, what's actually going on here? Because this isn't the proper Pokemon, like core Pokemon game that everyone was asking for. But
I was gonna say this. The way it came off, though, like today with it, it kind of made it feel like it's a lesser Pokemon game to me. So,
well, I mean, people who love Pokemon are going to love Pokemon pretty much regardless of how it iterates. But it is certainly it's bound to be a bang up success, and I'm sure that people are going to be really into it. Josh,
I will say this is that, of course, I said Sierra's a big fan. She's already talking with her friends about next year's game. This game is just like a midway point. She doesn't feel it didn't really have a big impact on her, and she's the big Pokemon fan that I know. So,
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of Pokemon Go people are very casual about it, or maybe they're not even Pokemon fans, but they've started to get into it. And if this is the easy pathway into being familiar with some of the mechanics that they're going to end up having to do next year, that saves them having to build a tutorial or say, here, go play generations of this game beforehand. So, but yeah, so they moved away from that. They kind of got onto a big reveal of a game that had not been announced up to this point. And it looks like Ryan's pretty excited for this one. And that is coming October 5th. We have Super Mario Party.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I mean, I love the Mario Party series. It looks like there's no longer being stuck in a vehicle kind of thing. I am excited. I love the Mario Party games. I want to see a little bit more from it. I probably will pick this up right away. I hope the Q-Dogs as well. It'd be cool to play that in Portland with them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Have a Super Mario Party at the Q-Dogs house. But no, I love the series. It looks fun. Looks like you can do multiple different things. I don't know how that's going to work out with some of the mini games. I mean, I guess that's something to see. It looks like, you can take, if you have multiple tablets, you can kind of change the course of some of the mini games by lining them up against each other. And I'm just wondering, I wonder how that will line up so much with, because they show you can still play it on a television with 4 friends too, as opposed to having multiple switches next to each other. So I am interested. I guess it's probably a pickup for me right away.
Okay. Yeah, and for a little bit of context, Mario Party 10 had sort of abandoned the traditional board game approach. And
we don't talk about Mario Party 10 here. Move on.
Okay. I was trying to give context so that people understood why it was a good thing that people were coming back to the approach they had with 9. So very well. 9 wasn't that way either.
9 had vehicles as well.
Yeah, both bad.
Okay, sorry about that.
Musty, get it together. Are you wearing a Nintendo shirt right now?
I am. It's not a Mario Party shirt.
Colleen saw this game and she squealed, so we'll be getting it.
Yeah, seeing the Goomba on a tricycle.
Oh, dude, the tricycle! And his little feet are just going. Oh yeah. This presentation was fun. I texted this to you as I was watching because I watched it late. The music was fun. The lighting was fun. It just there wasn't a ton of games in there. I mean, we're going to get to that as we go through. But there wasn't a ton of games in there that I was looking forward to. But it was just fun. It just felt like pure unadulterated fun.
And that's exactly what we want. Josh, are you getting Super Mario Party?
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of Mario Party because I always get frustrated whenever some kind of like crazy dice roll happens and I feel like I'm winning and then I instantly lose. It feels like that happens, but I guess that's part of the game.
Yeah.
I know Sierra is big into it. I play them with her all the time, so I'll be playing with her. And then when I go see my family, that's a big family game, so definitely going to be picking up for that too. So
one thing I would like to see with this game, and I don't think it's going to happen because of Nintendo, but I would love to see the online ability to play with my friends online. The ability to play with my friends online. So, I have friends that don't live near me.
Maybe
when they come back in town, that's the one time we usually get together to play Mario Party. So if they give me this ability, that is like an awesome bonus if we can do that,
Because you can play Mario Kart online, you can play Smash online, you can play Overcooked 2 online. So I can't see why this wouldn't.
Just saying because they didn't see it from the previous game, that's all, and I thought it could have been done there too. So
yeah, well, now they're going to be charging you for it. So they got to give you every reason possible to hook you. Now, the next game that came up is likely not going to have any online functionality, and that's Fire Emblem. They had announced that Fire Emblem was going to be a thing. I think it was just a splash screen type of thing, and saying that one is in the works. But we got to see our first actual gameplay and trailer, sort of story setup for that. Now, P1, I know you are a fan of Fire Emblem. What do you think? What do you think on this? Is this exactly what you were hoping for?
Put it inside me right now.
Well, you'll have to wait till spring.
It looks so good. I love Fire Emblem. I love the stories. I love the gameplay. You may see some online functionality because on the 3DS version, you can fight against other people's armies. So it's like asynchronous. It's not fighting at the same time, but
gotcha.
So you may see some.
But almost like chess, like a chess that you can walk away from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. It looks beautiful. It's going to be gorgeous on the Switch. It almost looks like there's some like third-person world exploration there, which they had a little bit of in Shadows of Valentia. You could go into the dungeons and you were actually running through the dungeon as opposed to just being dialogue boxes, maps, battle maps, dialogue boxes, battle maps. So it looks like there's a bit of that in there. Really pumped. Can't wait. Spring, great time for Fire Emblem because normally gaming releases have slowed down around then. Now, next spring is Insano Land, but hopefully this is something that looks good.
For sure. Yeah. Any other, Ryan? I know this probably isn't in your wheelhouse. And Josh, Fire Emblem?
I've never tried a Fire Emblem. I've actually only played one tactic game, and that was Final Fantasy Tactics. I liked it a lot, but it's been years and years since I played that, so I don't even know if I'd be able to get into it now, or if it would be appealing to me now, honestly.
If you're new to Fire Emblem, the game you should try is Awakening. It's the first one that I played, and it's the most accessible. The story is probably the best that I've seen so far. The characters are great, and it's got Lucina and Tharja. So, okay. And Matthew Mercer voices Crom.
Well, that's a bliss.
So it's like man crush, waifu, wife crush. So,
all right.
Excellent. Yeah. So I mean, every game is somebody's first game into a series. So how approachable they make it is obviously up to the developers. But I would assume that they have to go with that assumption that this is going to be somebody's first Fire Emblem. It could be yours. And then let's see. Moving away from Fire Emblem, we get the leaked and predicted. Unfortunately, none of us predicted it. It was kind of the foregone conclusion. That's probably why none of us jumped at this. But we are getting Fortnite on the Switch. I say we. I don't necessarily mean that. Fortnite on the Switch is coming out, and it's out now, and it's free. And that is genius for Nintendo to jump on that because, again, they're going to be launching an online service. They're going to need every single one of these kids who want to play it, or people, to pay that fee so that they can have their Fortnite. And I was watching just a brief part of the Treehouse, and the demo looks solid. It is just not my style of game, and that's okay.
I'm pretty sure it's cross-platform with everything else that plays Fortnite except for PS4.
Oh, yeah.
So the voice chat, there's voice chat. In order to voice chat for the Switch, you need to plug your headset into the headphone jack on the physical Switch unit. So unfortunately, if you're playing on your TV, you're sitting pretty close to the TV there. But if you're playing in handheld mode, it's right in your lap. Now, this is something we didn't think Switch could do. We didn't know that headphone jack doubled as a mic jack. So this makes a big difference for a lot of their online games. The controllers still don't have it, which
it kind of makes you wonder why they didn't just bake the voice chat into the console itself.
Yeah. But more importantly, if you have a Fortnite account that you have played on PlayStation 4, your account will not work on Switch.
So there's no cross progression, is what that means.
But
right?
on any other account, it does. So if you've played Fortnite on your Xbox and you have a Fortnite account that you use on your Xbox, you can log into that account on Switch and have that progression. If you have a Fortnite account that you have played on a PlayStation, because it is associated with PlayStation, it won't play on Switch.
Yeah, that's the conundrum I'm in. Yeah,
it is the biggest, and Fortnite released a statement. This is not them. They did not do this. There's nothing they can do to fix it. This is entirely 100% Sony. And that fucking reeks of fear and cowardice from Sony's point of view. That does not say, hey, we're in charge and we're doing well. That says we are terrified man babies who are terrified to have you play on any other console.
To leave us to go to play with your Switch, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? All this is going to do, Greg Miller tweeted this. He said, this doesn't make me want to fucking play on PlayStation. It makes me want to play on Xbox. You know, it makes me want to play on Switch. It doesn't make me want to come play on your closed server. This is blown up. This is not going well for Sony. Nintendo's conference fucking did not do good things for them.
Yeah. Mostly centered around that big announcement, but we got a BR announcement in this presser. We had a few in the PC one, which was kind of expected, but I think all in all, not a whole lot of BR announcements, at least new stuff, right? Like that. And we can talk about that at a later point. Trying to find a good transition to this next one here, because I'm super excited that Overcooked 2 got officially confirmed. I really like the first game. It's a game that I have played with people who don't game regularly. And I don't mean just my wife. Like, I've had friends who come over and I'm like, here, try this. And I hand them the controller, and the two of us are like really coming down with like really synchronizing our efforts and stuff. And they've added some really unique features here. You can now throw ingredients to other people. There is going to be wireless local, so you'll be able to set up 2 switches and be able to have 2 people on one and 2 people on the other. And then they also said online play, and we don't have to wait long either. It's coming August 7th. I'm super excited. It is likely coming to all platforms. There's something about the Switch for this one that just makes sense. Granted, it means I'm probably not going to go. I have Overcooked on the Xbox. I'm probably not going to go pick up the first one at this point on Switch, because I'll just wait for the second. But are you guys into this? Are you ready to yell at your friends and tell them that I need potatoes now? Who's excited for this? Josh, you've got to be excited for this.
I mean, I never played the first one. It's one of those I've always.
Oh, you need to. It's so good.
Every time I see people playing it, I'm like, dude, that looks so much fun. But this seems like a no-brainer for them to make a sequel. It felt like the first one was super popular. Mm-hmm.
And it was super low budget too, from what I understand. So I mean, it's another example of when a good game gets made, people get behind it, and then you encourage that company to continue going. And I'm glad that they're doing that, and then they're listening to the feedback. I think the first game was kind of nice and nuanced in that you didn't have online play. You kind of were forced to play couch co-op. But again, as both of you mentioned, with Mario Party, it's something that's like it's hard to get people together to play couch co-op, even though we love it so much. So the fact that they've added online play is great, and it's another reason to buy the online service for Nintendo. You can kind of see the threads of that coming, and I think it was foregone conclusion, but yeah, I'm excited. P1, are you excited? No.
No, Colleen said, "This looks like a lot of fun. Can we get it?" And I told her flat out, "No, we'll kill each other." This is not a game I could play with anybody. I get really, well, you've played games with me, Musty. I get pretty intense. I get worse with my family. So yeah, this would be this is not, unless you want to move in and offset the cost that I'm going to have to now pay more rent and stuff, more mortgage on my own. If you're going to move in with me, yeah, we'll get Overcooked. But
like, chop the onion.
Yeah. It's more like, can't you effing see it? It's right there. For God, why are you so bad? Yeah.
I understand. So one of the things they said about throwing food is that you can throw raw materials. You can't throw stuff that you've prepared in any way. So once you've chopped up the onion, this would make sense, right? You can't throw that to another player. You can't throw a plate of food. So you always have to, there's that balance. And they were showing it in one of the Treehouse demos of, you have to use the conveyor belts, and some of the maps now, or the kitchens, are like, the one they showed was like two rafts moving down a river, and then sometimes they'll come together and sometimes they'll drift apart, and you kind of have to synchronize all these efforts. I'm sure there's like a perfect way to pull off any one of the, to 3-star these kitchens, but I know from the first one it was super challenging. I'm pretty excited though. It wasn't obvious. Did I say I was excited? I'm excited. Reggie came back. Reggie says, hey, we've got, he was kind of touting again the indie scene, and that, the indies have been a huge success on Nintendo. And so they revealed 2 others, one of them being an arcade game that has been really successful despite not having a very big install base. They just don't have a lot of arcade cabs out there for this, and it's called Killer Queen Black, which is coming first to Switch this year. They did not give a concrete date, but this will be, again, the first time it's on consoles, and it'll be on Switch before it hits any other platform. Have any of you had a chance to play Killer Queen Black? Not to this point, no. Do any of you like that sort of? This again looks like one of those arena pixelized combat thing. Josh, what do you think on the style? And is this? Do you think this would be your kind of thing?
I've heard it described as a hero-based version of Joust. That's what I've heard it described as. And I love Joust. It's one of my favorite arcade games. So I don't know. It looks fun. Every time I hear anybody talk about it on any podcast I listen to where they've played it, they're like, you got to play this. You got to find one. You got to play this. So, and then apparently I'm taking this from Kind of Funny as well, but they said that every time that they have a cab in a bar, everybody is crowded around it and gets really hyped up and has a big tournament and has fun playing it. So,
well, because it's like an 8-player cab, right?
Yeah. So everybody's just crowding around it, having a good time, just, trying to beat each other. So it looks cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It harkens back to like Towerfall to me a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think at least just in the kind of way that combat happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. And then another indie title got announced. This is one that has already been out on other platforms, but is official, coming out today. And that is Hollow Knight, which is a Metroidvania. I know that a lot of people, there have been friends of the club who have really, really talked up this game. And so I'm sure this was an exciting announcement for them. They said that the version for Switch does include all the DLC. I believe that was the specific verbiage. And so, yeah, that's available to download today from the eShop. Looks great. It has a lot of Ori vibe to me, which would make sense. They're both kind of in the same genre. Is anyone picking up Hollow Knight? Is the Metroidvania pull enough for you there, or? I might. We'll see. The next game I know that people are picking up. I know of one person who's picking up specifically, and that is Octopath Traveler. So, P1, I know that you have been wanting to talk about this one all show, and it's on its way. It's coming.
Again, I'm surprised that this made the show, but it's Nintendo saying here's games that are coming soon, and they gave it a short window. More importantly, there's another demo that's coming out, and your progress is going to carry over to the final game. So I'm gonna have
okay. I didn't catch that part. That's excellent.
Yeah, so I'm gonna grab that, and I'm gonna start grinding tonight. June
14th.
I'm gonna grab that
Thursday.
Yeah, so get your Octopath demo. I'm already sold on this game, but if I can get a head start with the demo, I will do so. As long as I don't know, we'll see if it limits characters or whatever. I don't know if your gameplay from the first demo will carry over or not. I hope so. I'm all in on this game. This is the perfect amalgamation of modern day sprite based RPG. So it's like a love letter to fans of the old style Final Fantasy. So thank you, Square. Thank you, Nintendo. Can't wait for more. July 13th is going to be awesome.
Most definitely. Yeah. So that was good. I was surprised at how, like you said, you were surprised that it even made the show. I was surprised that I expected it to make the show, but I was surprised how little screen time it got. And that was kind of the theme for the next 25 games. They did a sizzle reel, and there was just one after another. I had to watch through it a second time to make sure I caught all the dates and things like that for it. But there's a lot coming to Switch. Some of these are Nintendo exclusive as far as that and 3DS. Some of them are, just coming to Switch among other platforms, but they snuck a couple surprises in there really nonchalantly, and hey, you do what you can do, but I figure I can let me just go down the list, and if you guys want to jump in on any of them, we can talk about them. After this sizzle reel, we kind of got the big meaty entree for this presentation, and so
I don't think anybody wants to talk about that though.
Yeah, no biggie. Take it back. This is not cooked to my liking. Please take it. We started with Starlink. I'm going to comment on Starlink again because I'm super excited for Starlink now. I rewatched the trailer from the Ubisoft presentation yesterday, and I got an emotional response out of it, and I don't know. I can't explain it.
Like a hard on?
No, emotional. Emotional. Like, I don't know if it's the music when the Star Fox thing happens. Like,
I'm gonna have to watch this trailer because I didn't see it yesterday. I didn't bother watching. Okay. Plug for also friends of the show, Easy Allies. Watch the Easy Allies reaction to the trailer. Did they get hard-ons?
I don't know. You should. I'm going to pick it up on Switch. I'm pretty certain that that's going to happen. And I've heard that the version that has the Switch exclusive content is not that cost prohibitive either. I think it is $75 US, and it comes with the Star Fox, the R-Wing and Fox and some other stuff too. So I feel like that's a pretty good price. So I probably should get out and pre-order it so that I can ensure that I get it, and then I can kind of weigh my decisions as it gets closer. But yeah, I'm excited about that game. The next one was Arena of Valor. I really didn't grab any interesting information off of that one, other than it's coming this fall. Minecraft, though, this one was a strange one because I think I was scratching my head because I thought Minecraft was already on the Switch, which is true. So Josh, do you have some more information on Minecraft and what this June 21st date means?
So if you already own the game, it's going to be this update called the Bedrock update, which has already been out on all the platforms, including mobile. So this is Switch rolling that out. So they just call it Minecraft. There's nothing else. So that's why they had this announcement because now you can play with anybody.
So this is the cross-platform
Yeah,
with mobile and PC
and Xbox and Windows 10, not PlayStation again, of course, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's called the Better Together update, and so they just repackage it as Minecraft flat out. So
okay, and they showed the Mario DLC skin pack and stuff like that as well. So P1, is this what? I feel like you have something you want to say about Minecraft.
No, I'm just waiting for. I'm listening to you talk about being excited and skin packs and how this game got an emotional response out of you, and suddenly our Nintendo presser's taking a turn.
Yeah,
I'm just patiently waiting for you to say Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, we're getting there. Next up was Sushi Striker, which is out now. I've heard great things about this one, but again, just a reminder that Sushi Striker is there. This is also on the 3DS. Surprisingly, they didn't acknowledge that it was also on the 3DS. Maybe not so surprisingly, but then they reminded us that the Mario plus Rabbids Donkey Kong Adventure DLC is coming June 26th. We got PixARK Fall, which looked like is this like what is that?
It's like a simplified Ark Survival Evolved, but it has voxels, so you can build with voxels like Minecraft.
Okay, so it's the Ark world with Minecrafty kind of gameplay elements. Okay,
yeah.
Another reminder from Ubisoft, because there is such a great relationship between those two companies, that October 23rd, Just Dance 2019 is coming to Switch and Wii U and Wii and 360 and Xbox One. I'm pretty sure it's on PS4 as well. So then this little sneaky drop here, a game that fans of the series have been clamoring for, and that's Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah, so this game is gorgeous. There was a leak prior to E3 that showed what games are going to be in Nintendo's booth, and it showed Fortnite, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Paladins, Overcooked 2. There's 6 games it showed. I don't know how many I just named. I'm missing one, I think. Nintendo, so they released a press statement saying, yes, Paladins is coming. They said nothing about Fortnite until this E3, till the show, when they said, it's coming, it's available today, have fun. Overcooked was in this show. And they shed, like, because the Dragon Ball FighterZ crew, these people they're crazy. They're fanatics. And Nintendo didn't, like, they just casually slipped it in there. They got like 3 seconds of the game confirming that this leak was right. Like, it was sort of a, yeah, you know what? The leak was right. Yeah, here's the game. You're not getting any more than that. Enjoy it. Like, it was, I don't know, just felt really casual and sort of snuck in. I thought it was a neat way to acknowledge that it happened. So
all they gave us was 2018 on that. Maybe if they had more concrete release date, they may have given it a little more screen time, but it was, it was almost past before you even realized that it was there in the first place. So if you weren't paying attention, you might have missed it. But yeah, you're totally right. There's a lot of diehard fans who are very much excited about that. It's one of those games that has been the, like, when's it coming to Switch? When's it coming to Switch? Just like a lot of everything else. But yeah, it's exciting, right? It's nice when people can have nice things, and so good for those individuals who are really clamoring for that game. That's excellent. Let me get the Octo expansion. Again, this has already been revealed, but the reminder that the Octoling playable expansion for Splatoon 2 is coming this summer. Captain Toad, July 13th. Did we have a date for Captain Toad already, or was this new news? I couldn't remember if it was already. We had a date because I pre-ordered it at EB Games, and there's no way I'd have been able to do that without a release date. Okay. Well, reminder again. Captain Toad, July 13th. Crash Insane Trilogy is coming June 29th. So that's right on the doorstep here. Ryan, I know you picked that up on PS4. Is this double dip worthy, or are you content with your version you've got so far?
I did not pick it up on PS4 because Crash Bandicoot sucks.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
We call him trash.
I like Crash, and I bought it for PS4. I don't think I'm going to pick it up on here, though.
Yeah, Ryan, that was rude.
Sorry, I really don't like Crash Bandicoot.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
You wearing a Sonic shirt to the Nintendo conference?
Busted.
He's the man.
Okay, well, moving on then. Ninjala is coming spring 2019. This next one I'm actually marginally excited about is Carcassonne. I had it on the Xbox 360 off of the Xbox Live Marketplace or the arcade at the time. And so it's your tile-based board game, but I'm sure it'll play perfectly on Switch as well. That's holiday 2018. FIFA 19, September 28th. Ark, which is interesting that you're getting Ark and Pixark both coming at the same time, considering they're fairly similar games.
One thing I want to say real quick about FIFA is that it must have sold well enough that they're giving, FIFA 19 now for the Switch. Kind of shocked that Madden wasn't ported to the Switch. That's one thing I've heard people say before, that they want a portable version of Madden. And it seems like it's a FIFA. If they can do FIFA, they should at least be able to do, it's not Nintendo's probably call. Maybe I'm thinking it's more of an EA thing to see if they want to do a version of it. But to me, it's a FIFA must have sold well enough once you kind of expanded that. Just something I was thinking of when I saw that.
I don't think Madden sells as well as FIFA does.
Yeah, their market research might have some clues as to why that hasn't happened, but
yeah, like FIFA sold 20 million copies. FIFA 18 sold 20 million copies. I don't know that Madden 18 sold 20 million. I'm curious now. Hopefully someone in the chat's going to look that up.
That'd be nice. Moving back to, we get Wasteland 2 coming in the fall. Paladins, which was one of those ones in that leak, is out now. And so there's your poor man's Overwatch, I guess you could say. Then we got Fallout Shelter, also available now. I was actually kind of surprised that they hit a few games that are already out, but again, they were very recent additions. So, yeah, it's good to make sure people know that they're there. Dark Souls Remastered, just marked as summer. The game has been released for other platforms, but now, again, reminder, it's coming. SNK Heroines coming September 7th. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is August 28th. I know that's going to be a big deal for certain club members, as who it may be the thing that pushes them over the edge to get a Switch. Wolfenstein 2 coming June 29th. Again, the Bethesda support continues, although this was promised last year and they're finally getting around to it. So that is excellent. World Ends With You coming fall 2018. No date yet on that one. And then Mega Man 11, October 2nd. And then Mario Aces Tennis, June 22nd. And I think, Ryan, did you get a chance to play did you play the demo?
Yeah, from what I played, it's definitely a game I'm going to pick up. I don't like the new gimmick mechanics that they have, but I know that from their last, I believe, direct, that when playing online, there's the option to play, I guess, straight up Mario Tennis, which is what I want. So to me, that, I tried out the new gimmick, didn't really care for it. It seems a little difficult to master, and I guess I just want to play against my friends. So to me, that one, it's like, I want it, but yeah. So I'm excited for it, and comes out in a couple weeks.
Excellent. So that was the sizzle reel. 25 games, rapid succession, and they basically paved the way then for a big game announcement, and this would be the last game that they talk about during the show, and they devoted a lot of time to the big main event, which was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So we got the game name release. Ryan, I know you are a huge Smash Bros. Fan, so what do you think about the name? What do you think about the reveal? What are you happy about? Before I go on a laundry list of the things that we have here.
I think Sakurai said that it is the new game in the series, so that is a correct prediction from me. I love it. The name Ultimate, it's basic, but hey, I'll take it. I love the fact, and this is, I guess, a little slight detail, that every character from every previous Smash Brothers is back. It's one of the things where I kind of was worried about with it being a new game that we might lose Bayonetta, we might lose Ryu. So characters I wanted to see stick around are going to be there, and characters that I voted for in their previous build-up of DLC characters are returning, like Solid Snake, which was one of the guys I wanted to see more than anything. So that was huge for me. It looks, they did show on the giant reel there that they showed that there is a lot of new tech in there, but it's mostly, I think, returning tech from what I've seen. I'm going to have to watch the Smash Invitational when the pros go on tonight to see what more things, because you'll see probably more things get exposed through that. But this entire 30-minute package was great because they did a really good job of breaking down every single little detail to it. Gone are the clone characters that took up a spot that people had a gripe about because, hey, you have all these characters and we're losing one to an identical character. Like there's no longer a Dark Pit. He is there, but he's a skin alternative for Pit. There's no longer Lucina. She's a skin alternative for Marth. So, they're there. They're still there. So if you play Lucina like I did, she's still there in the game. It's just not going to take an additional spot, giving away for more characters. So this was, I think, great news because I kind of agree with it that clones don't need to be on the main roster. They could still be in the game. They just don't need to be on the main roster.
Yeah, it's just going to get crowded at this point because they've decided to say that every single fighter who's ever been a part of any Smash game, whether it's been one game or every game or DLC or otherwise, is here. Including it seems like, Josh, is that you who's pretty happy about one of the additions here?
Snake! Yeah, that was a cool reveal. They said that was the reveal that said everybody is here. That's, they made a point to show him and then have that splash screen. Everybody is here. So, yeah, I was sitting there and that one made me stand up and be like, okay, yeah, locking in my pre-order. I got to get this game. So I was going to play it anyway, but yeah. Pretty excited. Yeah.
It is pretty exciting. So I mean, if you've had a main that has been stripped away from you, if you like the Ice Climbers, they're back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, David Hayter's coming back for Snake too. That was an awesome reveal. Also, just to hear him again in the game, it's gonna be really good. So
yeah, that's very exciting. The one thing that I saw that I really like is if you go back to the first two games in the series, you had a small core roster to start, and then you would unlock fairly rapidly. You would unlock the additional characters, and it sounds like they haven't decided what that core roster is going to be yet, but that they are going to have those unlockables to allow. That sounds like, again, they would come fairly quickly when you're talking about 60 plus characters. If you lock 50 of them behind gameplay, somebody's going to complain about it. In which case, I think they should encourage those people to just pay for it and make them fast track that. I really enjoyed that about games like Melee. Is it encourages you to play to get those characters. Like Mewtwo, you had to play like 24 hours of the game to get Mewtwo to show up and potentially become your one of your selectable characters. So I like that feature. I hope that they don't just put in like a cheat code that fixes that or that skips all that process, right? People should play the game that they're so invested in. 8-player battles are back. And so that was something that was unique to the Wii U version. And then they went into a lot of the changes, and this was quite the long laundry list. At first, I thought it was just going to be maybe a couple things. They ended up listing off something, maybe not something for everyone, but there was a lot of choices made. There's a lot of little tweaks and changes to character models or moves or outfits and things. So I don't think I want to go through all of them because, again, we have plenty of time. Are there specific ones that you guys who watched it that jumped out to you, or changes that you maybe thought it's interesting that you would take the time to acknowledge that here? Ryan, I know that you having probably the most knowledge of these games, what stuck out to you?
So all the little attention to detail I thought was really great. Like the different, I guess, sound effects for Bayonetta, for the different gun sounds for Bayonetta 1 versus her Bayonetta 2 costume, the different voice actor, slight different voice actor, maybe just tone different for Marth and for, I think it was I'm trying to remember his name now, the other Ike. So it's like little things like that. The little slight changes that they made were great. Techniques. The one things I caught, like I said, were the air dodge. I believe that was in Melee. That's been gone, I believe, for a while. I'm not 100% on that one because I really didn't put too much time in a Brawl. Short hops are always kind of part of the game there. They might have made it a little bit simpler now to do them. So that's something I guess you got to play to find out. I noticed there's percentage. Besides percentage, what's it called? It's
tenths.
What's
like
it?
Decimal
Percentages now too that they added to it. So little bit more things here. I know you have marked here with the person who first having a mark on them. That's more, I think, for the if you will, your what's it called, if you're playing multiplayer kind of thing, so everyone attacks them, which I think is a great idea. I love the little thing with Rio too, that if you're just doing one-on-one combat, he will be played more like he does closer to Street Fighter. So stuff like that I think is great. So it gets me excited for the game.
And they've added some changes on 1v1 fights. They pointed out that Captain Falcon and some of the other characters who, I assume this is on like charge moves specifically, when those connect, it'll slow things down, so it's like more impactful or cinematic. I'm not sure what that's going to do to flow. So it'll be interesting to see how that's implemented, but that's only in 1v1 fights. They also mentioned the damage is greater on 1v1 fights to help with again keeping the game moving.
That seemed like it was a big emphasis too, like get this game moving faster too. Like the one I guess one of the negatives against Smash Wii U is the loading is a little bit longer, but it's not too long. But this one seems like it's light speeds faster than the previous installments too.
So I have a theory on this, because one of the things they showed after in the treehouse was that you pick the map and then you pick the characters, and they presented that as, well, sometimes some characters are better on flat levels than non-flat levels. To me, I read that as, you pick the map and we'll start loading it right now while you pick your character, so you're masking that loading time a little bit. I think that's what's going on there. I mean, they can present it however they want, but if it does help, it looked like in those treehouse demos that they were getting very quickly into matches, and that's a very good thing.
And they were saying too, like, because you get to counter pick stages too if you lose this, and that's generally how it works in tournaments too. If you lose, you get to choose the next stage. So they're saying this gives like the loser the chance to pick the next stage as a counter. So, and it works both ways. I do kind of agree with your statement that it's probably like a loading thing to help speed it up a little bit longer, faster too. So
it's like doorways in Resident Evil, right? It's there to just make you believe that something else is happening while they're actually loading the stuff in the background, which is smart design. It's why there are impulse buys by the grocery checkout, is to keep you occupied while that stuff is happening. But yeah, Josh, any special sort of things that you noticed or that you're keen on, or
I really
like big laundry list here?
There's a lot, but I really loved the Ridley reveal. I thought they did that perfectly. It's like, oh, we got one more thing. They did that thing, but that trailer was really, really awesome. Everybody was.
I was hoping it was Subspace Emissary. I was
Me
really hoping.
Yeah. That is one thing I was like, man, I wish they would have said something about that. It doesn't look like they're going to do that this time. Maybe they will.
It could still come. Maybe that's your DLC.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule this out. Nintendo, for the previous to the last Smash Brothers, did a giant direct before it came out too. So I wouldn't rule it out yet. With there's definitely gonna be a thing because they just don't give you, just besides playing the game, unlocking characters. There's always things to do. So I wouldn't rule it out just yet. As Sakurai said too, the game is still being made as they're talking about as they're still showing it off here.
Of course, we know the Switch is GameCube controller compatible. Now they show that there's a new one of those coming out, which is great for people who are into that. I'm not sure. I'm going to try it with the Pro controller, see how it feels. But I do have a GameCube controller, of course, to see. But I don't know. It's just pretty much for fans of this game. It feels like this is like the biggest love letter that they could have done. It's like, we care about this game. This is. We're putting everything we can into this. All the characters that you know and you love, your main that we took out two games ago, we're putting it back in. It just feels like, hey guys, this is the Smash Brothers for people who love Smash Brothers, and then that's great, right? So.
What about people who love Subspace Emissary?
Well, hopefully there's enough of a call for it. I mean, it sounds like they're listening. Or at least they're trying to make things as far as what the fans want. I think the Ridley edition is an indication of that. And so maybe if there's enough of an outcry for it, maybe they add it in, or maybe they find a way to bring that at a later point. Now, the nice thing is, and Sean, maybe this is good for you, but all the amiibo are compatible. Yay! You can also transfer the profile that you have that you can save to the amiibo. That's transferable as well. I'm not sure how that works, but and then you said those GameCube controllers are USB?
They have to be. Otherwise, unless they're going to release another
they will
adapter.
They're going to, because they said all GameCube controllers will work on here.
Did they say all, or did they just say GameCube controllers?
I'm pretty sure it said all GameCube.
Well, I know
they've got the new one with the Smash logo on it.
Yeah. So that one with the Smash logo came up for the Wii U as well, alongside that first adapter. And I believe that adapter works on your Switch now. Why wouldn't they just make a wireless version of the GameCube controller?
Tournaments.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yep. Okay, that's the answer.
But whether it is USB or not is another story. It's just there's not a whole lot of USB ports.
It's just to have that other peripheral in between there. But you know what, Ryan's right, because there's guys who it's like Model 01 of the original GameCube controller. You can shave down the Z button or something to block faster, I think it is. I don't know. The Smash Melee people are crazy.
It really just is more along the line of Wi-Fi interference with, you don't want someone to turn on accidentally their wireless controller at a tournament that will freeze, the game. That's the main reason why all fighting game tournaments require a wired, fighting controller, if you will.
Oh, I thought it was for input lag.
Well, that's what I thought. That's like a lesser thought, if you will. But it's,
Cool.
Yeah.
I learned something today.
There you go. So they did show a little bit more of the Inkling, which was the other new character. They were the ones in the reveal a few months back, and so they showed some of that. They showed the level. Apparently, you can ink people, and then they'll take more damage and stuff like that. So that'll have some interesting implications, I think, in gameplay. Which we don't have to wait that long for Smash here. I mean, it's still 6 months out, but that they are still working very, very hard to get this thing ready. So it looks like December 7th is the release date at this point, which is Pearl Harbor Day, which is interesting. But but yeah, so we're getting Smash this year. I think we all expected that. I just don't. I'm surprised it's
Was that a message from Japan to us?
I don't know. That's interesting, but I'm surprised they're going to miss the Black Friday window.
I still think it's going to sell like gangbusters, though.
Oh, I'm sure. It's still coming out before Christmas. They're like, they could release it. They could release it on December 24th, and it would still sell well. Like,
that's not to say we're not going to get a game for Black Friday. Like,
get Pokemon in November.
You do have Pokemon on the 15th, so
yeah. So there it is.
I do think. Well, the one thing about Smash Brothers is it's a console seller for them. It's it's like, I believe, the third most popular franchise. So it is one of those ones, and I know people who will buy a Nintendo console just to play Smash Brothers. I know at least 3 or 4 people that just do that. That's the only game they will play on it. Otherwise, they game on PC. So it's just it's one of their favorite games of all time, and they compete tournaments. So it's like I said, it's a thing that pushes units for Nintendo, and that's what they need, I guess, continually going here with games.
Yeah, when you compare, like when you look at, they've got a Pokemon game coming, even if it is a casual Pokemon game, Pokemon fans are still going to buy it. Every single fucking one of them is going to buy it, no matter how much they tweet and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, how angry they are that it isn't a mainline Pokemon game. They're still going to fucking buy it. Every goddamn one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also open enough, or what's the word I'm looking
approachable.
For? That's it. Approachable enough that non-fans might pick it up. Somebody who's like, oh, I remember playing Pokemon Go for 3 months last summer. That was fun. I'll try this game. So that's going to sell. And then, like Ryan said, when you put Smash on there together, those 2 games this fall, they don't really need anything else to move those units. You know what I mean? The people who were going to wait on a Switch are still going to wait. The people who are like, I'm only buying it for Metroid. They're gonna didn't matter what came out this year unless it was Metroid. So those two franchises, you don't need to have your other big hitters there. Put Fire Emblem next year, which starts off 2019, right? And then we're gonna get we'll find out eventually what Retro is doing, which I imagine is that Star Fox game. And you pair Star Fox up with an Animal Crossing, and there's next year sorted out. And yeah.
You just kind of you have to drip feed the big first party stuff.
Exactly. As fans, we're going to sit here and we're going to scream that we want all of it. You know what I mean? Like, I want Metroid right now, and Animal Crossing right now, and Star Fox right now, and Star Tropics right now. And while you're at it, give me another Mario game and Mario Maker, and I want them all right now. And then when they don't announce those, the instant reaction is, oh, there's nothing there for me. By a lot of people. Twitter, there's a lot of people disappointed.
Let's talk about that, because that was the end of the show at this point. And so I think there were a lot of people who had expectations based on last year's show on what they were expecting going into here, and there's some unhappy people. To put it lightly, there are some unhappy people right now. There's some people who their sentiment about Nintendo was going to be the only one who could have saved their E3 for them. Those people are, I feel, totally misguided, but okay. There was something here for just about everyone, I think, and I think you guys probably feel the same way, right?
Yeah. The thing I think about Nintendo every single time when people complain about it is they have a direct almost every 2 months at this point. And they're usually 30 minutes packed with games. We just had a direct, I think, like, a month and a half ago, and now we're having another one. They're always doing these. So I'm like, they're doing this Smash Blowout, and then they had over like 30 other games with Smash Brothers, this huge Smash Blowout. And that's why I'm not disappointed by this, because that's their tentpole game. They're going to focus on that this time, and then in a couple months they'll come around and say, here's a couple more reveals, and here's No More Heroes and all those games we left out of this one. So
So, I mean, for some of us, it's JRPGs. For some of us, it's casual indie titles. For others, it is exactly what they said they were going to bring to the table, and that was a whole lot of Smash. And so, I think...
well, here's the thing about that. I think when you have a year like they had the year prior, that's a hard year to follow, if you will, too. It's... You gave a lot of everything. You gave like something for everybody, and you can't almost do that every year. It's sure, they gave away Metroid Prime. They gave 2 Metroids last year, one that came out and one that's probably more than likely 3 to 4 years away. So unless you want to continuously have them say, this is our game we're planning 4 years down the road every year, that's, it's eventually going to get to the point where people are like, all right, what's going on here? Where's this game? It's been, 3 years now.
Yeah. Then the complaint becomes, you keep showing us trailers and trailers. Let me get the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's hard to follow up. I think, and I think Sony experienced this maybe last year, too, at their E3 when, the years prior, they just gave just overloaded here. We're still waiting for games coming out that were announced at E3 2015, so, and that's seen as one of the best E3s of all time. It's just hard to follow, and I guess it's going to happen. It's I didn't think it was bad. I think it gave a little bit for everybody, but because I guess if there wasn't something that mainly hooked you, look at another conference. There was a lot of showing off this year, so I don't know.
And we will talk about at a later point. We'll talk about the entirety of the show, or at least entirety of the press conferences and what our general thoughts are about that. But yeah, I felt good about this one. I didn't feel like I didn't fall out of my chair. Like last year, right? Like there was some stuff last year that was just like earth-shattering kind of announcements, and yeah, so it is hard to live up to that. Absolutely, I agree with you guys there. What'd you think about What'd you think about the length of the show? Like they seem to fit in this 30 to 45 minute window. Like, do they owe a longer one to E3? Do you think that they should have tried to maybe take that sizzle reel and expand some stuff out?
No. And it's just like Josh said, they do one every two to 3 months. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to do more than 45 minutes. I felt that the Smash Bros stuff went on a little long for me. But knowing that they came to E3 saying, we're going to highlight Smash, and knowing that the people who love Smash, I was watching it, I get excited as they're listing the characters, and when they said all the characters, at that point I was like, hey, right on, all the characters are going to be this. This is really cool. And then as it continued on, I sort of checked out. I was like, okay, this is too long for me. But I knew Ryan must be fucking loving this because this is directly for him, So every time he has to sit through a 15-minute explanation on how combat works in Xenoblade Chronicles, you know what I mean? This is him. This is for him, So
yeah,
I get that. So, and like Josh said, not everything has to be directed at the individual who's specifically watching it. It was approachable enough that I got some stuff out of it. It went on a little long, but 45 minutes I thought was a perfect length for the direct because they talked about the stuff up front, and I like too that they talked about everything up front. And if you had got to that point in Smash and you had tuned out, you didn't miss anything. You know what I mean? There was no secret reveal at the end. There was nothing. There was no Marvel. Well, Ridley, I guess.
There was one.
Yeah, just Ridley, I guess. But
if you're not into Smash, then that announcement of Ridley means it means Ridley Squad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like the length, and I know, like Josh said, in 2 months we're going to get another one highlighting whatever game. They won't be Smash because they've done that. It won't be Pokemon because they've done that. It'll be maybe another group of Nindies that are coming out. Here's a bunch of Nindies coming out, this fall or whatever.
Yeah.
Or here's a look ahead in maybe December. They do. Here's a look ahead to next year to hype people up. Who knows?
I do want to say that last year the direct was 28 minutes, 27 minutes, and that was the most hyped part of E3 last year. So I don't think that length really matters. In this instance, I guess. Yeah.
They also have to save stuff for other shows down the road. I mean, remember Bayonetta 3 was at the award show last year that they teased that. So it's one of those things where it's like, you're right. Wait a couple months, something will be down the road for you.
I mean, if Bayonetta was going to come out this year, then yes, it would have had a good place in this show, but it's not, nor is there really a timeline at this point. It's just in development. So, again, with Nintendo taking that approach of not showing you much more than about 9 months of the road ahead makes sense to me, for sure.
Yeah, it didn't blow me out of the water. It wasn't my favorite conference this year, but I enjoyed it. The first half, I found it to be fun. I liked it. the Smash up until the character announcement was great. It was a good show. It wasn't my favorite show of the year, but it wasn't. At no point did I go, they're wasting my time. I didn't feel like it was, you had to be present at the actual conference to get the most out of it. It was well done. It just wasn't, unfortunately, not even unfortunately, just I found that there was 2 other conferences that really brought their A game, and 50. One brought their A game and one brought 50 of their A games.
I'll say this. I will kind of agree with the statement, not that, but that there was only 2 games for me at this thing, but one of them was something. 2 of them actually were something I'm really excited for. So it's like, I understand. I come to almost every show now just looking for, I guess, at least one thing that I can take away from every show. Mm-hmm. So if I can do that, I'm happy. If I get a show where it's nothing for me, then okay, well, you kind of wasted my time, but I feel as if I got at least something out of every show, maybe this year too. Yeah, I can at least say I got at least one thing out of every show this year. So,
I think I can agree. Before we start going into some kind of recap of everything, because I want to do that separate from Nintendo here. Did you guys have any final thoughts about Nintendo showing and obviously I doubt they're going to change their approach anytime soon. Do you still like the Direct and the Treehouse stuff that happens after that?
I love it.
Yeah, good show, good format. Please keep it. See you in 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's quite possible that we start to see others adopt this. You get this year we had examples of both really of good implementations and slightly less good implementations of this video style demonstration. And I think that it depends on the developer who's doing it as to whether it works or not. But seeing it's very clean, it's very quick, and again, they can just run through stuff super, super fast when they need to, and then devote more time as needed. So okay, so again, we don't have another show to promote as far as press conference to go over, but we are going to do a quick little break from this presentation, and we are going to fire up one more so we can talk about our favorite things from E3 of this year and sort of put a bow on all of this. And we'll have a little bit of time to talk about that. So stick around with us. We're not going to be gone for long, and we'll pop right back on. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming by, and let me give everyone a quick chance for plugs again, in case anyone wants to hear more from any of our panel. So Josh, where can we find you on the internet?
Follow me, Frantic Society, on Twitter, and you'll see all that I do.
Okay, and Ryan?
Twitter, it's Rocket Sauce.
And P1?
They just announced an Octoling 3-pack amiibo. And so if you're looking for me, you can find me at Best Buy.
Nice. Okay. At Best Buy CA? Okay, very good. At least it's not Walmart CA, right?
They would have told us about it yesterday.
Nice. How about for real, if we want to find you on Twitter?
Oh, if you're actually looking for me, it's at Cartridge Bros.
Okay. And again, you can find me on Twitter at Musty Hobbit or on the YouTube channel Second Breakfast. And we will be back very, very shortly here. Look for the... what you probably should do is click the notification bell. That way, when we go live again, it'll just pop up a notification for you. It's a genius thing, right?
Smash that bell.
Smash that bell. Super smash. All right. We'll see you guys in just a couple minutes. Thank you for coming by. Catch you in just a few.